here at the Charing Cross Hotel in the heart of London's Theatre District for what promises to be a rather unique West End experience. Now, there may only have been 12 episodes ever made, but fans of Fawlty Towers will be delighted to hear that Basil, Sybil and Manuel are still a team and creating havoc at the Fawlty Towers dining experience inside at the Torquay Suite Theatre. I'm here with the cast of the Fawlty Towers dining experience, Donna, Brian, Paul. Donna, how did it all start and what can we expect from the show?
Oh, well, basically, our boss is a Sybil.
Okay.
And 15 years ago, was it in Australia? She's actually from New Zealand, but she did this in Australia, I believe. She was just an actress with an idea, and she did a theme night of sorts, I think. But through that, they did lots of improvisation, and she created the show by finding out what works, what doesn't with the audience, and she ended up writing a script, and it's a bit like sort of Fawlty Towers Lost series. It plays homage to a lot of the episodes because there were only 12 episodes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The funnier clips in each episode.
That's
so
right.
Say the war. I mean, I remember the war episode, the rat one.
Don't mention
the war. Don't mention the war. But I mean, they're all such iconic, well-loved characters. Did you all find it a huge pressure to carry it off?
It is a bit of a pressure.
Not that I want to put pressure on you now, but
no. But the thing is, you're not playing a character. It's not like Paul O'Neill does Romeo. It's Paul O'Neill does John Cleese doing Basil Fawlty.
Okay.
And because that's, John Cleese is the actor who is iconic, and that's what people, when they come to this show, that's what they want to see. They don't want to see a different take on it.
Yeah, yeah.
So there is an amount of pressure in recreating that character.
Yeah, yeah.
All three of them.
You have a lot of physicality for Manuel. Was that hard to master?
Well, I'm quite a gymnast of sorts, and I got really good training from one of the other Manuels who was in the company. So the physicality for me is quite difficult because I kind of chat on.
Yeah.
But, no, I think I've gotten into the hang of it.
I was going to say, do you do something particular to get into character before a show? Like, do you chase each other around with frying pans and fingernails?
We do that anyway.
Yeah.
That's nothing to do with the show.
Yeah, that's just general. When we started this job, I mean, I can't speak for you guys, but I know I referred. Well, I can. And I will. I used to refer a lot back to the DVDs. I mean, we studied the series endlessly anyway when we were doing the training, and the company, they really invest in you because we spent a long time training before we did any shows. And initially, you're spending a lot of time looking at the physicality,
just the mannerism,
exactly,
yeah,
of the character you're taking on and the way they speak and so on, and then I think at this stage now, like before a show, we will have our individual little warm-ups or whatever, and then I mean when we're here in the Charing Cross venue, we get changed together in this lovely dressing room. So we sort of talk and banter
in character. Yeah.
Well, we'll start off as ourselves, and then slowly I think by the time 7:30 comes around, we're probably already in character, talking to each other in character. So
I was going to say, but Basil is such a strong character. I mean, do you take him home and end up randomly breaking into?
I take him home and give him a drink. Yeah. And, I do actually. He does linger.
Yeah, he does.
It's wild.
One of the great things about the show is it's different every night, I guess, because half of it's scripted and half is improvised, and there's a lot of audience participation. Is that sometimes a little nerve-wracking when you have to rely on the audience to be good sports, or?
I think for me that was very nerve-wracking at the beginning, and now it's the bit that I sort of love the most is what comes about during the evening. You've got no idea what's coming, what someone's going to feed you.
Are the audience members generally quite up for being involved, or do you get the ones that kind of cower in the corner like, please don't be on me?
But you're drawn towards those
ones?
Yeah. So you just can't help yourself in character talking to those people. But generally speaking, you do get members of the audience that come in worried, and you may say a few things to them, but you watch the whole story goes on such a journey that you see them relax into the show because no one feels intimidated by the end. It's amazing.
So tell me about what would actually happen during the show or the dinner or what actually the format is.
Well, the audience come in about half an hour before we kind of arrive on set, and they mingle around, and then we have kind of the soft entrance into the room where we're kind of scanning around, and then we seat the audience in the actual room, and then the whole play kind of takes place around them. So the audience gets a 3-course meal, and then the scripted bits kind of happen in between.
So when they first come into the room, are the audience a bit confused because you show up already and they're expecting a show, or are they generally aware that this is what they've come to?
A lot of the time it's a surprise for people, or presents and things.
Yeah.
We purposely do a very soft beginning to just establish the characters, and it's a bit like kids seeing Mickey Mouse for the first time. It's Sybil? Yeah, it's oh, there she is! Look, you know, and they
you can
just see there. And we just slowly introduce ourselves, and then we hook on to an improvisation. We pick up on something, and that's the very, very slow start. And obviously, we have to come and see it to see what actually happens.
I will see it after.
We don't want to ruin it.
But the beauty of it is that it's a show about running a restaurant in a hotel, and people get a 3-course meal. So it's almost like they've come onto the set of Fawlty Towers.
So
and
they've come
being
to
the
your
extras.
restaurant, and they're being served by you, and you're running the whole dinner,
Whole
but at
shebang.
the time doing the show.
Sometimes you get such a brilliant member of the audience that people say, "Was he planted? You know, did you? Is he in it every night?"
And there's no plants. Just
no,
to be sure there's
no
no plants. Everything's
It's us
real.
three.
So that's working off whoever or whatever we get on the night.
Right, well, I am really looking forward to seeing the show, and I know you guys are going to go and get ready, so I'll see you in a bit. Now, I have been granted an exclusive interview with Mr. and Mrs. Fawlty, as well as their long-suffering employee Manuel, to get the inside scoop on what it's really like to run a restaurant at a top hotel.
Yes.
Welcome to Fawlty Towers.
Oh, thank you, Manuel.
Listen close.
So tell me what's going to be happening in the restaurant this evening. What will you be serving for dinner tonight?
This restaurant.
Yes.
See.
What will the guests be eating? Is there a set menu, or will we have a choice?
Manuel, what is on the menu?
Menu.
Yes.
See. Man.
Yes.
Men.
Manuel, the menu. The menu, Manuel.
You
What will you be serving the guests this evening to eat? What will they be eating?
Food.
Yes.
I think it'd be simpler if we explain.
Okay.
Yes, they get a 3-course meal, don't they?
Culinary delight.
Yes, it's not gourmet night tonight, but they will get gourmet cuisine, won't they?
Oh
Basil?
yes, well, no, it's the best.
What is
We've got a
it?
wide range of vegetables and meats and really
Duck
anything.
surprise, isn't it?
Duck surprise?
We're not
No.
sure what the surprise is.
Oh, there's a surprise.
The duck's off.
Duck's off.
The duck is off.
Yes, the duck surprise is that it might be chicken.
All right, Manuel.
See.
Carry on with your job, please.
Basil,
Yes.
running this hotel and this restaurant looks extremely stressful for you.
Oh well, it is.
It is.
No,
Have you
very,
ever-
very stressful indeed.
Well, it is for some of us, of course.
Yes, those who actually work here.
Have you thought about a different career at all, or a different career than?
Why?
Could you imagine, Basil? What do you see my husband doing? Anything in particular?
I could do lots of things.
Yeah, he could do a lot of things.
Well,
What do you think you could do?
Well, name one.
Well, no, I'm asking you to know.
I could be
Something
a
less stressful. Something a bit.
pilot.
A pilot.
I could be a pilot.
Do you think he could be a pilot, Sybil? Could he?
Fly one of those jumbo jets. No problem.
Fly away, Basil. Might be most helpful.
And Sybil, you're obviously the one that runs this whole establishment and keeps it running smoothly. Obviously, with the help of your lovely husband here. How do you deal with particularly troublesome diners?
Well, I don't really. I don't have any. When they're
You don't?
under my control, they behave themselves perfectly well. Quite frankly, it's quite straightforward, Basil. All you do is introduce the guests and sit down and give them a lovely 3-course meal. You don't need to make it complicated, do you, Basil?
No.
It's only when Basil's in charge, of course, everything goes a little bit pear-shaped, doesn't
Not
it,
worth
Basil?
misbehaving when Sybil's around, is it, dear? No.
Oh, you
no.
still seem to have a very good relationship, living and working together all these years.
Oh, yes,
How
yes.
do you keep the love alive?
Yes, we've been married. How long is it now, Basil?
Well, 15 years, I believe.
Yes,
15
But
years.
it doesn't feel any longer than 15 minutes. It's underwater.
He's been with you many, many years. Is he still like an employee or more like a member of the family now?
Yes, what is he like, Basil?
More of a pet, really, I'd say.
More of a smudge on the wallpaper, I'd say.
Okay.
His English has improved a smidgen.
Smidgen.
Yes.
You know this?
Outside.
Oh, pigeon.
No,
No,
not
no,
the
no.
See what we have to put up with?
No, I think Manuel, do you look at Mr. and Mrs. Fortier's family, or are they still like employers to you?
My family. See.
Yes.
I love them.
Yeah, you
See.
love them?
See.
Yes.
I love them.
I wouldn't go that far, Manuel.
And you don't have a problem with rats or anything in this restaurant, do you? With rats
Why, have you
or
seen
mice?
Whatever gave you
No,
that
no, I haven't seen. I just wanted to check that, you know, quite often in.
Yeah, no, right, one moment, please. No.
No,
No rats.
no mice, no rats.
No,
Okay,
no,
that's
of
good
course
to know. Anything else you want to tell me about the food tonight or the experience? Or
Well, are you dining with us?
I am dining with you. Yes.
Well, you'll find out.
It's
Okay.
hot.
It's hot.
Hot.
That's good. I
you're
hate cold
lucky.
food. Thank you all so much for
No,
talking
you're
to me
most
this evening.
welcome.
I look forward to dining with you tonight.
Ah,
Yes,
jolly
we
good.
look forward to
We'll see you
having
then.
you. That
Thank
would be
you, thank you,
lovely.
Sybil,
Most
thank you,
blessed.
Basil, thank you, Manuel. Well, I just had my own Fawlty Towers dining experience and it was absolutely fantastic. And I'm glad to report that Basil the Rat didn't pop up in my food. You can book tickets to the Fawlty Towers dining experience at www.fawltytowers.net. And that's 40 with a U, not a W.